Hello! How's it going, boys? What is up? So it's back once again for yet another Suptix video. So I wasn't expecting the Suptix video to be out yesterday after I ended the stream. So that's why it's gonna be a little bit delayed for this one. Because I think by the time the YouTube boys actually see this, it'll be the same day of the Christmas stream, which is probably gonna be starting in a few hours. So yeah, okay. But anyways, as usual fashion, what I'm gonna be talking about for this particular one is that I'm gonna go through all the new characters as always, and then we're gonna mention special honorable mentions on Guild War stuff. So it's gonna be Fire Favorite, which is next month. So we're gonna talk about characters in the Suptix pool that can help you in Guild War. Alright. And so first things first, we have quite a bit of new characters that got added in here. So we have from the oldest to the latest is that we have Erica, Anderson, Jessica, Bowman, Angloville, Thor, UL Sochie, and Alaya not Golden Knight. Well, she's not really Golden Knight anymore. I mean, she's pretty good looking there. Okay. And then let's start with Fire. So Fire is Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Let's go with Fire. Where's Mr. Anderson? There we go. Mr. Anderson, I think if I recall correctly, he was kind of like the subtickable version of Wilnas in a way. Yes. And also because since he's Fire, do we actually need him for Guild War? If you do not have Wilnas, but it really doesn't seem like a bad idea to actually kind of go for him. He is really helpful in a lot of different scenarios too, just because that he's a massive tank. And he can do very cool stuff like Dispel on Ogi. Yeah, that's very helpful. And then having also ally sub on his every 8 turns could possibly help you in Guild War as well. So like maybe if you reach 8 turns in like 50, like once he hits 50%, or there's like a big nuke in the way or whatever, and then just manage to sub that, it can be very good. Honestly, you having a character to tank a lot of shit for you in the likes of Nightmare 200 Guild War can actually be a really good thing these days. So yeah, it's entirely up to you if you're needing a character like this. I probably would be like, I probably should say this earlier, but honestly, if you're planning to buy this in any way, you should probably wait until like the last day or something, or close to last day, because we are getting Roulette all the way until then. Who knows, you might actually get the character that you're aiming for in your free rolls. You know, you probably can luck shit here and there, right? So yeah, I highly suggest you to wait until then. You should not buy Suptix yet if you're planning to do it, because Roulette is very undeniably very what's that word, something that you cannot predict. It's very unpredictable. Yep. Okay, so yes, that's Anderson. Okay, so next we have Erica, which is water. Where the fuck is Erica, man? Erica. The fuck? I should put this only. Is she in the last page? She's not on the last page. Did I pass her already? Where are you? Oh, there she is. Erica. To be honest, I actually don't remember what the fuck she is. Okay, so she resets the thing. She resets her this thing. What is this? Wanton water cut. Sure. Oh, this one you have to manually cast, eh? One turn water cut to her water ally's skill cooldowns. I think I remember they did something like this, right? Didn't they? I remember they were fucking around when she was out, where they were fucking around with water's burst or something. I think they were doing something like that. Today, even until now, right? I feel like she's kind of like only like people were just playing around with her on like the first week or some shit, right? They were just like, how do I say? She's one of those characters that has potential, but as time kind of like showed, like all the as time passed by or whatever, she kind of like nobody really cared about her too much, because I don't really see much people talking about this said character in like the how do I say, like endgame, like top of the line water bullshit or whatever, because I don't think you really need her. Yeah, I feel like people would rather use Gwyn instead of her, you know. So it's like, yeah, I guess she's kind of cute. You kind of get her just so you can look at her and shit, I suppose. But other than the waifu collector, I don't think you really would really need to care about her too much. She is still pretty okay though, but yeah, it's nah. Okay, next is who? Do we have any more water? No. Next one we have wind, right? Or earth. Earth is Angloville and Thor. Oh, right. These guys are like, okay, you know what? I think I'm just gonna do this because I don't have any of the new characters. Yeah. So these guys, I remember they do glaciate or some shit. They are like the very first ones that does glaciate for Earth, which is really odd. Because yeah, glaciate is supposed to be like, you know, water based kind of stuff. But Earth glaciate, yeah, it's kind of weird. But last I recall, I remember they're just decent at best. They're like, you know, you can nuke a little bit, debuff a little bit, do the glaciate thing, and then you can nuke a little bit and then get this for themselves or whatever shit. Actually, not for themselves, all allies will get it as well, but like, it is one of those characters that you don't really need for Earth, of all things. It's pretty whatever, so I don't think you should really bother about this either. And then next one we have Alaya, right? How's Alaya again? It's kind of like similar as a grand version, right? Yeah, very similar to the grand version, but it's kind of it's kind of whatever. It's not like you really. Oh, this is also another character similar as the one before, where you don't really need a character like this in the said element. Like for high-end stuff, you just use this. Like characters like these are the ones where you just use to just fill in the blanks when you're still, how do I say, like you're lacking in a lot of choices to make in terms of setting up a team composition for yourself. So it's like, just slot them in because you do not have any other better choice out there. She can be that character. She's, to me, is very mediocre at best. Though the thing is that she has a lot of requirements as well, where if you want to like you need to do some replicate shit. You want to fucking do like some fucking thing that allows you to do like how do I say, like replicate some other character that allows you to buff or whatever, like buffing your team, so you get like insane amount of extra buffs for the team, and you can also extend that onto herself, so you can actually last a bit longer for herself, and then yeah, shit like that. Or you could also like I don't know, if you're lacking in sliming or whatever, you can just use her to replicate, I guess. You know. But it's to me characters like this are very mediocre, you know. You don't really use characters like this. I would even think like for Win, right? For a normal character like Win, I think you probably are better off just using a character like Alaya, or even Azusa is probably better. Like, you know, like in terms of like comparing to other subtickable character within the element, yeah, you probably be in a much better position if you're just using characters like Alaya or even Azusa or even other Win characters, which I'm not gonna bother looking at right now. But yeah. Okay, moving on, we have Dark. So we have 3 new Dark characters, which is we start with Jessica. I think Jessica is another mediocre one. Yep. Very, very mediocre, yes. But she's kind of like the I guess you can technically kind of use her as the OTK-ish character if you're having problems, because she does have Unworldly. So, kind of helps a little bit. And she buffs as well. So you can kind of put her in front or whatever. And then just make everyone else hit a little bit better. Kind of like that. Because it's not like she's the type of character where you need to get 200% on her or some shit. No, she doesn't have that. So you can technically just use her to buff other characters while she Ogies first, kind of thing. But you kind of need 6 or something for that. So yeah, you can technically use her to help for OTK if you so desire. Yeah, it's not too bad. But I think the notable one I would say that is worth grabbing here is obviously her so-called Ayer look-alike, but he's different now, which is called Bowman. He's technically supposed to be Ayer, right? So this is the fantasy version of Ayer or whatever. But the reason why he's very, very notable is that in the high-end bursts for Dark, he's probably the most sorted out for right now. He basically took over Leech's spot. So yeah, because now Leech is kind of like benched in like the whole Runeslayer burst setup for Dark, because this guy is a lot faster. You don't actually need to press any button on Leech or this guy even, because you technically can't even press it anyway. But like yeah, he technically functions better over Leeches because he doesn't need to press any buttons, and if he can actually do similar, if not slightly better than Leech in the burst setup in a way. So yeah, technically it's a lot better to use this guy or on a Dark burst setup right now. But yeah, so TLDR is that if you want to get like the top of the line bursts for Dark teams, you definitely want this guy now. So he is that guy at the moment for Dark, where he helps you really burst super good. Other than that, you can technically kind of full auto with this guy a little bit, but yeah, you probably still want Leech anyway for full auto, so yeah. And you can technically also use him for, he's also really good for OTK, obviously. So TLDR, he's really good for burst and OTK. Yes, very good. Okay, next. Next we have UL Sochie. Alright, this one is you only want them because they look fucking amazing. Right? Like, goddamn, man, you lose every time. Look at that side opai, man. Damn, look at them legs, man. Good lord. But other than that, they are pretty nice, though. Very full auto friendly. They can do a lot of stuff for your team in full auto, because you can technically, even though it's linked, so it's either use one of each. But if you're using like say for example, if you do not have like Leech for example, you can technically use Fidel with them, so they just don't take that damage too much or whatever, because the buffs technically only ends when they take damage twice. So you can just just spam non-stop, and then if you use like the usual Kango shit, you just reset the thing super fast. and you can get both of this up at the same time, so you can just nuke a lot and blah blah blah, all that stuff. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, very cool. But other than that, you technically don't really need them either. But yeah, if you just want them because they look really cool, really good, it washes your eyes really really well, I have to say. But yeah, okay, so that's all for the new characters. There are new summons in here. I think Hekate is included in here now, if I recall correctly, because I saw it mentioned. Yeah, Hekate Wamdus is included now. So once again, for summons, it's just Hekate is a good summon, right? She's a good summon, as you can see on my screen. Good main screen as well. So yeah, Hekate is a really good summon. In terms of why is it good, it's just simply because I forgot what are the mods that it gives you, but the mods are actually really good. The stuff you get out of her, I need to look her numbers again. I forgot what her numbers are. I was actually thinking of full lumen breaking this, if I recall correctly. I remember I wanted to do it, but I was just waiting for, like, you know, hoping I can luck shit in Guild Wars. I mean, for in Roulette or something. I think luck shit in Guild Wars. The fuck. Oh yeah, this thing. The thing that is called Hecate's Embrace, man. That shit is great. So basically, you just get like a free damage nuke every 3 turns. It's great though. So it's just put her in your sub aura, and then you just immediately just get free nukes every 3 turns. So I mean, you can't really say no, free damage every 3 turns, right? So it's pretty nice. And then the call is you get the Flames of the Underworld, which is what's that? It's a field effect, indefinite field effect, which lasts fucking forever. That means you get extra attack. I mean skill cap. Yep, you get extra skill cap, but you also increases the foe's attack, which is honestly kind of whatever. But yeah, having extra skill cap, which is I think up to 30%. Yeah, you get 30% skill cap. You get 20% I mean, the enemies get 20% attack up. Yeah, 30% extra skill cap is pretty good. But yeah, but honestly, for the most part, you actually just use her because of the aura. Because the aura is actually really, really nice. Because the aura is like what? The nuke is like 1.1 million. 1.1 million base cap. So technically, you can get like 3 million-ish nuke every 3 turns. So it's like extra 3 million damage. You can really fuck around with that. It's pretty good, man. But yeah, as always, like summons, you only tend to go for that if you do not have enough. If you already have enough of the characters and whatnot. So yeah, Hekate is really really nice. Yes, it's very nice. And then the rest, like for dragon summons, as usual, if you want to bump your primal a little bit stronger, you definitely want them. If not, then if you're a Magna player, it still helps, but honestly, it's advisable for you to just go for a character more over than a summon at that point. So it's like, unless you already have every single character somehow, then yeah, just go get summons, I suppose. Pretty much like that. Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna go towards the Guild War portion. So let me remove that. Alright, Guild War portion. Okay, so for OTK characters, I remember these guys are obviously still a thing. Yeah, those Lancelot and Vayne is still pretty good. I think Elmot can also be used for OTK, if I recall correctly. Where the hell is he? Elmoto? Where the fuck is Elmoto? Oh yeah, Shion is good too. Shion is also good for OTK. Where the fuck is that guy? Is he not in here? God, the birds are really fucking noisy, man. Where the fuck is he? Oh, there he is. Yeah, he's also pretty good just because that he gets like a free nuke. As you can see here, he gets a free nuke, and then you get also this too. So it actually helps if you're using him for OTK character. It's very nice. He also works with, like, if you want a full auto with this guy, because he can dispel twice or something. I'm more like, yeah, he can dispel twice and he dispels a lot basically, so it's pretty handy. Yeah. Basically, I would say like Elmot is the character you probably want to go for if you do not have a character called Summer Medusa. Yep. Elmot is definitely that supplicable / budget version of Medusa. So it's he's also very strong in that regard. And he nukes a lot, so he can kinda pull his weight a little bit. Probably is not as strong as Medusa, because limited, supplicable. Yeah. Next is that I was saying that Xion. I think there's a lot of people like using Xion because of the what's that? The katana memes, and then the damage that you get out of this is apparently really strong if you're stacking with all that shit. I think a lot of people are using Xion for like zero chain shit or something. Was it? I don't remember. I think I did remember seeing stuff like that like last month or something. People were saying shit like that. Yeah, Xion's alright for OTK too. Yeah, Xion's good. I think this guy, no, this guy. Who else? Who else? I think that's really about the OTK ones. I mean, I didn't remember mentioning about Tsubasa, but Tsubasa is like unique. You kind of need to press a button, so I wouldn't really suggest him these days. Yeah. But I would say like Elmot is actually really good if you do not have him yet and you're lacking with a lot of characters, because Elmot can kind of be that character where he helps a lot of different scenarios. So I would definitely suggest him. Elmot is really good. In terms of like pushing to like Nightmare 200 full auto kind of stuff, I think I already mentioned earlier, which is Anderson. Anderson's really good for that. Other characters I would definitely say is obviously Athena. Duh. Now is also a good time to level her to 100. You probably want her to be at level 100. She's really strong. She's your super tank, and at the same time she can do some debuffs. She can buff your team. She can make your team get extra sustain, and she also nukes every now and then. So very strong character altogether. Another one I would probably say is like, if you do not want like a character like Anderson, Vasiraga can technically be that said character as well, but honestly I think Anderson is probably better in that regard, because he seems to probably do a bit more damage over Vasiraga by the looks of it, because Vasiraga also does relatively well in the whole tanking part of it. But the problem with Vasiraga is that Vasiraga is not like Anderson where he consistently can just take like the damage off your party members. Vasiraga is basically he just can't die. Vasiraga is just basically there. He will not die. He's like a living tank, but he's not really like consistently able to just grab all the aggro for everyone. He's not that type of person, unfortunately. Yeah. Other than that, who else? I guess Anturia is still pretty okay to this day. Like her supplicable version is still somewhat okay because she has two different styles, which one is to give like the offensive part of her kit, the other one is her defensive kit. So it's kind of like, if you're using the offensive one, you can consistently just get like what's that, the meter, you get extra hype for your team shit. Yeah, you get like lots of extra boost and buffs for your team, so it's pretty nice. Yeah, and then on the other hand, if you're using the defensive node, if I recall correctly, she can delay very often. I think it's delay. Shit, I actually need to look up her defensive thing. It's been a while since I last saw her kit as well. I remember she can delay a lot. Is it delay? No, it's not delay, it's heal, never mind. Yeah, so the constant heals is not really delay. Yeah, so because she gets up to 1500 heals every single time she dodge, which is, I will honestly say, almost every single turn she can dodge. I don't think she'll die if you're able to Ogi a lot, because when you're Oging a lot, right, with her, because she can always recast this all the time, she's taking all the aggro for your team, and then she's allowing her to, she's basically the tank by, she's tanking for your team by dodging and grabbing all the aggro from everyone. So if you're a Kango Andy, she's pretty good if you're planning to go for that round. Yeah, and not to mention, so it's like, if you're somewhat semi-manualing to a certain degree, like if you think maybe it's still too hard for you to just consistently just full auto Nightmare 200 or something, you could also just switch at any given time to a defensive thing, and then you just get lots of defense and lots of heals out of that. So it's pretty nice. Yeah, Antura, I think Antura is still a pretty good character to suggest at this point as well. Yeah. Other than that, who else I would say that is alright? What the hell do you do again? Yeah, no. I don't think I'm gonna suggest Lily at any given time. Yeah, I already mentioned Elmot earlier, and yeah, same thing. If you want to do for Nightmare 200, probably he's gonna be good as well if you want that. So she is actually okay, but I still do prefer her water version more than this one. So it's kind of like, I wouldn't really say that she's good to have. Nah. Oh, excuse me. And unfortunately, the fire version of Setter is not as OP as the earth one. I mean, she's still okay, but not anywhere as strong as the earth version, unfortunately. I do think that her fire version is still somewhat on the usable side of things, but after seeing what the earth version technically can do now, and how much she can actually provide for the team, nah, I think if you haven't gotten Elmont yet, you're probably just better off getting Elmont instead of her. Silf is actually okay, but like I only kind of use her for in case shit happens, like backline character. But a lot of, I mean, she's only okay if you're really manualing though, to be honest. Because you have to like manual with her a lot, and I'm also using Silf just for the sake of Medusa stuff. Because Medusa, you want extra primal characters because of the whole primal pals buff shit on Medusa. Yeah. The rest of them, they're probably kind of whatever. Yeah, Shion already mentioned earlier. Siegfried and Colossus is like, eh. Siegfried is okay, but yeah, I think you can still kind of use him for OTK, but at the same time, I think at this point of time, Siegfried is only usable to OTK in OTK teams to a certain degree, but at the same time, it's like, if you want to go for OTK, I think it's better off going for like Elmot, or even Lancelot Vane is probably better over Siegfried anyway. So yeah. Colossus is good for OTK, but you need to get 200 meter for him, so that's kind of annoying. So if you have any way to consistently get 200% without pressing any buttons, by all means, if you want to use him for OTK, that is. But other than that, I think that's all I am here to suggest for you guys when it comes to subtickable fire characters for Guild War, next upcoming Guild War. So till then, maybe if you're luck shitting, you don't even need to buy anything for your fire favorite Guild War. So yeah, let's hope that's the case. Yeah, just luck shit, lamau. Okay. So I guess that's all I'm really gonna mention about the Suptix stuff. If you have any questions, just come on to the stream and ask. Probably be streaming the entirety of Christmas-ish thing, because I'm not going back to my hometown anymore. I'm here. I'm just gonna hang out, on stream, and I'm just gonna stream because I have nothing else better to do. I'm alone. I'm not hanging out with my relatives this time around, so yeah. Until then, I will see you guys in the Christmas stream. Yes. Alright. Good luck. Okay, bye-bye.